Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie, and welcome back to another writing vlog. In this vlog, I am going to be writing a mystery short story. So, if you follow my videos, you know that I'm currently querying a historical mystery. I'm drafting another historical mystery novel. But in this video, I'm going to work on something totally different. You know, the querying process can be discouraging. You get rejected over and over. And I kind of got the idea of like maybe I should write a short story and see if I can get a short story published. Because writing a short story is not as much of a time commitment as writing and editing an entire novel, obviously. And there are like lots of, murder mystery magazines out there accepting submissions. I'm actually planning to submit this short story, if I can finish it in time, to a contest that ends on January 15th. Of course, that's not a lot of time considering it's now almost Christmas, but if I can get it done and enter the contest by January 15th, and if it actually works out for me, that would be a huge achievement. And it's just been a while since I got like a positive response, so it would kind of help me, feel like I've accomplished something. It sounds so pathetic when you say it like that. I'm sorry. But like, I think it would be a real achievement for me if I could have like a work of fiction published, because I've had lots of articles that I've written published, but never a fictional story that I wrote, if you don't count fan fiction, which I don't think is the same thing, or stories I had published in my college literary journal, literary magazine. But like, that's college. I don't think it's really the same thing as like actually submitting to a serious publication with, hundreds of other people submitting to it, if not thousands, and being accepted. So I figured, let's just give it a try, see what happens. It's not like I have anything to lose. And the idea that I came up with for this short story is actually like sort of related to my current manuscript, Project Dagger. It's really hard to explain how they're connected because it's not like the short story features the same characters as Project Dagger, but it is tangentially related to it in some way. Maybe I'll tell you more later in the vlog, we'll see. So my goal is to have this short story written by the end of 2023, and that would give me like 2 weeks to edit the short story before I send it out to that contest. If I don't win the contest, obviously, then I'll send it out to some magazines and see what happens, but I think I'm gonna try for the contest first. Hopefully this will work out. I'm definitely gonna do some writing sprints, I think, because I have been writing since I last filmed a writing vlog. I was writing more of Project Dagger, and I actually started tracking in my notes app how much I was able to write by just going to people's writing sprints, like on, YouTube Live. I will put that on the screen, I guess, so that you can see what I was able to write during the sprints. I found that the writing sprints were very helpful for me because I think one of the things that I've been struggling with is just obsessing over like, oh, are the words that I'm writing down good? Like, am I proud of what I'm writing? I know this is gonna need a lot of editing later. It's a rough draft. And so I've been having a lot of anxiety regarding that. And I think the good thing about writing sprints is that since it's fast, you don't have time to be anxious. It's forcing myself just to write words, not to think, not to care, just to, let the creativity flow. And that's what has been very helpful about them, in my opinion. So that's how much I wrote of Project Dagger during recent sprints. But right now I'm gonna focus on this short story idea, then go back to Dagger after I finish the short story. And that's pretty much it for this intro. We'll see how it goes. It's been a while since I wrote a short story. The last one that I wrote was, like I said, in college for the literary magazine in college. And it's been a while. So we'll see if I'm successful, but I'm gonna make a serious attempt and we'll see how it goes. Talk to you later.
So I already have the characters written down and the main plot points outlined. I'm just covering up the title. I don't know why, because I feel like I ought to cover up the title. And I have started writing this story already because since I'm not an experienced short story writer, I wanted to get it started and like feel confident that I could actually finish it because, I would hate to start filming a vlog and then throw all the footage out. My biggest worry is the story going to be too long? That's more so my concern at this point because I've already written a decent amount of words and the story can't be more than 8,000 words for the contest I want to enter. So we'll see. But I already have the whole thing planned. I'm just worried maybe the plot is too complex? Question mark.
Hello, everyone, and Merry Christmas Eve. So, I'm here to say that the short story is done. I had 2 really productive days of writing. So, on the 22nd, I first just free wrote a couple sentences to get me back into the story. Then I did a 20-minute sprint where I wrote 856 words, and then I free wrote another 610 on top of that. Then on the 23rd, I just was in the zone yesterday or something because my starting word count was 5,616 words. I did a 20-minute sprint where I wrote 776 words. I did a 10-minute sprint where I wrote 473. Then another 10 minutes where I wrote 538 words. And after doing those sprints, I just kept writing. And finally, when I finally went to bed around like 12:30, I'd finished the story and it was over 9,100 words, which is great. But that means I now have to cut 1,100 words-ish off the story because for this contest I want to enter, and for most mystery magazines, like 8,000 is the upper limit for a short story. So, pro, finish the story. Con, now I have to figure out how I'm going to cut all these words off. I think I can probably make some decent progress just by rephrasing sentences in less wordy ways, cutting out unnecessary reallys or veries or things like that. One of the characters in the short story, I gave him the last name St. John. And I'm thinking, maybe I should change his last name to be a one-word last name, because obviously if I need to refer to him as St. John every time, Mr. St. John, that's going to be longer than if his name was Mr. Jones. So I might change his name to see where that gets me. But that's where I'm at with this short story. It's done. It's too long, but I can edit it. And to be honest with you, okay, so I also had another crazy idea, because I feel like this short story may not be the best short story for the contest. So I'm thinking about if it's possible that I could write a second short story between now and January 15th. Because then that way, this short story I just finished, I could submit that to some magazines and have another story for the contest that I think might work better. But that is a crazy idea. So let me just focus on editing this one first and then see where that gets us. If I have a lot of time, I might try to write another short story. But we'll see. I don't want to be overly ambitious. We'll see. So that is where I'm at right now. And I will try this afternoon before our guests get here to see if I can start shaving some words off that first draft. And that's where we're at the moment. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt because it is unfortunately going to be 70 degrees in North Florida today. Not very Christmassy, but anyways, just a quick update. Yesterday, I made a lot of progress on editing this short story. I just need to lose a little under 200 more words, and then it will be within the word count limit for the contest or potentially magazines. So that is exciting. Really, I was able to trim off a lot of words pretty easily. I basically just edited the name of my first document to be draft 1, then I created a new document and was just copying and pasting things in. And I was able to save so many words just by deleting dialogue tags if like there was already an action associated with the dialogue or it was clear who was speaking. I deleted some descriptions. I think, you just don't have as much time for descriptions in short stories. And there were also some instances where I sort of summarized. So for example, like if you have a scene where characters are at dinner together, you could have lots of dialogue about what they're talking about at dinner. Or you could just say, we all talked of pleasant things until such and such happened. And obviously, the second option helps the story be shorter. And I think, it's a short story. It has to be a little more succinct. And so if I was writing a novel, I probably would have included more descriptions. I would have given very detailed descriptions of what each person looks like and what the house looks like. And it's a short story, so it's not going to have those things that a novel would have. But by doing those things, I was able to get the word count down fairly easily. I just need to lose, I think, 180 more words, and then it'll be within the limits of the contest. So I will do that today or tomorrow, depending on when I can find the time. And then the short story should be good. Hopefully, it'll end up in a magazine near you. But like I said, I don't know. I might see if between now and January 15th I can write another short story that I feel like would be better suited for the contest. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here, The point is, once I cut off 180 words, I will have one short story that is hopefully good to submit. I'll reread it over again just to make sure I didn't miss any typos and probably have someone I know read it. But it's almost done, so that's exciting. And that's it for this update. Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and then this video is going to go out on the 27th. All right, bye for now. $7,997 words. I have the story complete. 3 words under the limit, and I did it with time to spare, so I am happy with how I got that done. I somehow cut off over 1,000 words of the story. I didn't know if I could do it, but I did it, and I'm proud of myself. I might, like I talked about earlier, see if I can churn out another short story, one that I think might be better for the contest. But if I can't pull it off, if life just gets in the way, then I will submit this one. It's really not that big a deal. I just kind of, was like, ooh, maybe this idea would work better, and I'm being a little bit ambitious. So, if I have to submit this short story to the contest, no big deal. I just kind of now have another idea that I'm playing around with and that I think might be a better fit. Hopefully, one or more short stories from me might make their way into the world soon. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but, you know, obviously that would be huge for me. And like, you know, kind of like I alluded to earlier, I've been querying my novel with literary agents for what, 4 months now? September, October, November, yeah, 4 months. And I just kind of like need a win because the last time I got a full manuscript request, it was at the end of September. And so that was my last like win, for lack of a better term, you know? Ever since then, it's just been rejections or silence. That's totally normal. And my request rate has actually been good. It's been above average, but it is hard to, you know, like navigate a process where rejection is the norm and you care like so much about your writing. It is hard to, you know, deal with that and not knowing how things are going to turn out. So to have this accomplishment would really mean a lot to me. Like I said earlier, you know, I've been writing for a long time, but I've never had any work of fiction that I wrote published like in a professional publication. So to have that would really, I think, help me feel accomplished and help me regain some of that confidence in my abilities, you know? Because I know that I'm a good writer. So many people have told me that I am. And it's not that I don't think I'm talented, it's just when you're in a career like this, where rejection is so common. Every creative career, you know, writing, singing, acting, those things, like, you're gonna get so many no's before you get a yes. And some people never get a yes. They try for years and they never get one. So when you're in that position and you have to hear rejection all the time, it is hard because creative people are so passionate about what we do and our work is so close to us. So even if you know that you're talented and people tell you that you are, it is hard to be in that position where you're being rejected a lot. And so I think just be able to have this accomplishment for me so that like I can say I did it and, you know, I had a work of fiction that was published for the world to read, that would mean a lot to me. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it could be a no again, but it would be really great to have this just for myself, like if not anything else, just to have it so that I can know that I did it and I accomplished this, you know, major step. That would be amazing. So we'll see how things go. I might churn out another short story. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I did write a lot recently, so maybe I can do it. And I think my plans for my writing future as of right now are I finished this short story. I'm going to try to see if I can write and edit another one. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. That's fine. And then I actually think I'm going to reread the first 50 or so pages of my manuscript that I'm querying, just because now I've had time away from it so I can look at it again and see if there's any new ideas I have. Then January, I'm sending out another round of query letters. And after I send those out, I'm going back into the new novel manuscript, Project Dagger. I've written, I think, over 30,000 words of Project Dagger, and obviously I'm aiming for somewhere between 80 and 100,000 at the end of draft one, so I will be getting back into that. Those are my writing plans going into 2024. The new year is almost here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. If you did like it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Please wish me good luck in the comments and let me know if you have any thoughts to share. Have you been writing anything recently? I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.